Hello everyone, Mr. Price here again, continuing our read aloud. As you know, we are reading The Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963 by Christopher Paul Curtis. We are currently in the middle of Chapter 8, and we left off with family having made a bunch of upgrades to the brown bomber, and Dad kind of snuck off one morning and had some additional changes done, and when they came back they found a towel over something in the dash, and Kenny was going to reveal it, and I stopped you guys right at that reveal, so we're gonna go ahead and pick up from there. I whipped the towel aside. Our very own drive around record player, which that was like a huge deal to them back then. Mama went, "Oh my God," and gave Dad a dirty look, then walked back into the house. Joey squealed, "Oh boy!" Even cool old Byron forgot how cool he was and screamed out, "Aw man, this is too hip. No one's got one of these. Speedy don't even have one in his Cadillac. Too much, man, way too much." Joey and Byron climbed into the car on either side of me. We all said, "Turn it on, Dad." I knew Dad was kind of disappointed by the way Mama had acted. She really hurt his feelings by walking off like that. Some of the time I think she forgot how sensitive Dad was. Even though he acted cheery with us, I knew it wasn't the same for him now. I knew that if Mama had stayed and hadn't gone off mumbling about money, we would have been having a lot more fun. But Dad forgot all this stuff real quick and got excited about showing off the record player. Dad was like me. He loved putting on a show, or, as Mama said, we both loved acting the fool. Dad was best at it, though, and I couldn't wait until I was as good as he is. "Well, well, well," Dad said, leaning down into the car. "I see you three have the ultimate in taste. I see you've chosen the top of the line, the cream of the crop, the True Tone AB 700 model, the Ultra Glide. We had to, 'cause right in front of the record player in big red letters it said TTAB 700 Ultra Glide. As I'm certain you are aware, the problem in the past with this new technology in automotive sound has been with road vibrations interfering with an acute dispersal of phonic interpretations." "Huh?" Byron said. Dad said, "In other words, I'm sure you know that in the good old days every time you drove over a bump with one of these things the needle would jump and scratch the record." Me and Joey played along. We know. And as I'm sure such a fine, intelligent looking family as this one, it is Mr. and Mrs. Watson and your son, isn't it?" "Oh no," Joetta said and pointed at Byron. "This isn't our son. This is just a little juvenile delinquent boy that we feel sorry for and let follow us around some of the time. Our real son has hair." Even this didn't bother Byron, who was amazed by the Brown Bomber's latest addition. Dad kept imitating the guy who sold him the record player. Yes, I'm sure such a nice family like this one is aware. It was only last year that the scientists at Autotronic Industries made a brilliant, beautiful, breathtaking breakthrough and developed a suitable system for controlling these vibrations. "Yeah," I said. "I saw it last night on the news. Walter Cronkite said it was a miracle." Dad laughed. "Precisely, Mr. Watson. Walt has 2 of these babies in his car and 1 on his motorcycle." We know. "Yes, the vibration problem has been overcome by the exclusive vibrodynamic lateral anti-inertial dampening system." Dad had memorized that word 'cause right on the arm of the record player it said VDLAI, dampening patented. "Come on, Daddy, turn it on. Stop teasing. Now, Mrs. Watson, be patient. And tell that little delinquent that follows you around that if he touches one more knob on the record player, I'm going to pull his fingers off." Byron mumbled and sat back in the seat. "Before I dazzle you with the symphonic sound of this unit, let me point out some of its less appreciated features." "Oh, please do." "Aw man, just turn the blank thing on. If I gotta listen to all this jive. I'm gonna go in the house and get some real cool sounds. Byron opened the passenger door and ran into the house. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Watson, I'd like to direct your attention to the rear of your classic automobile. Me and Joey crawled up on the back seat and looked at the back window. On the rear shelf, a hole had been cut and was covered with that same stuff that's on the screen door. I can see you're wondering what that is. Well, let me explain. What we have here is, believe it or not, a second speaker. And I can tell by that intelligent look on your face, Mrs. Watson, that you have grasped that that speaker is not placed in the rear deck haphazardly. No, ma'am. Some people think we just have a hole hacked in the back there by any old mechanic, but nothing could be further from the truth. That opening is scientifically and mathematically positioned by a factory-trained technician to enhance the TTAB 700's true high-fidelity sound. Wow! Byron exploded through the front door with an armful of 45s and Mama right on his tail. And just so you know, 45s is referring to the type of record. Right? He didn't bust out with a bunch of handguns. Students have thought that in the past. But records. Byron Watson, don't you stomp on those stairs like that, and don't you slam that screen door. She trailed Byron all the way to the car, fussing at him the whole way. I knew she was using Byron as an excuse to come back out and see what was going on. I guess all the laughing and fun we were having made her want to join in. Now that she was back, Dad really started cutting up. Well, 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 Mrs. Watson, Dad said, but not to Mama, to Joey. I see your beautiful young daughter has decided to join us, and not a moment too soon either. Why don't you scoot over a bit and let her in? Joey loved this chance to pretend she was Mama's mom. She patted the seat next to her and said, Come on in, honey. This is really cool. Mama slid in under the steering wheel with a halfway smile on her face. Wonderful, wonderful, Dad said. Byron lifted the record that was already on the turntable and started putting one of his own cool songs on. Put it back, son. You'll get your turn. First, we have a special request from a certain young lady to a certain handsome man. If you'll excuse me, ma'am. I'll just reach over here and get this show on the road. Mama puckered up her lips to squeeze down a smile and cross her arms over her chest. Joetta giggled and me and Byron scrunched our faces up. Dad turned the key and the brown bomber fired up. Okay, young lady, here's that special number you requested. Dad couldn't help himself and started imitating a DJ. Here's the man with the patter, here to spin the platter. Why? It doesn't matter, 'cause the world's getting fatter. I'm the man with the tune that'll take you to the moon, that'll make your poor heart swoon. I'll hold you like a spoon. I'm the man with the jive. Byron chirped up. Ain't that the whole natural truth? Which, calling somebody jive was an insult back then. But Dad didn't miss a beat. Put your love thing in drive, bring your little world alive. Mama slapped the car seat. Daniel, start the record. All right, all right. Dad stopped his rhyming, not because Mama told him to, but because I bet he ran out of stupid poems. But first, let me tell all you people out there in Radio Land that this number was requested by Miss Willona Sands for the wonderful, wonderful man in her life, the big daddy of love, Daniel Watson. We at Flint's only soul station, WAMM, dedicate this song to Daniel from Willona. Spin it, maestro. Dad reached over past Mama to start the record player. Joey grabbed my arm with one hand and squealed into her other one. Byron was grinning like a giant bald-headed kindergarten baby. Mama still had her arms crossed but was starting to smile. She brought one hand up to cover her mouth. My foot was tapping on the brown bomber's floor a mile a minute, and I couldn't make it stop no matter what I did. I guess I was grinning pretty hard too. Dad's hand touched the knob that had "Start" written on it, but before we turned it, he pulled his hand back and said, First, however, we all screamed, Daddy! Aw, man! Come on, Dad! Daniel! But Dad wasn't through yet, and you couldn't rush him. In fact, the more you'd complain, the longer he'd take. He put his hand up to stop the noise. But first, we at WAMM want to apologize to the 9 other women who called in requesting love songs to be dedicated to Daniel Watson. If they stay tuned, we'll play their songs later this evening. Mama said, "That's it," and started climbing out of the car. It was a fun "that's it," though, not a serious one. Dad blocked the door and finally turned the knob that said start. Then he got into the back seat. We all froze. Even the brown bomber seemed to get quieter as the VDLAI arm from the record player lifted itself and moved toward the 45 that was on the turntable. The arm dropped and a hollow little boom bounced around the car. A moment of silence, and then the most beautiful notes of music I'd ever heard came from the front of the car and the back of the car at the same time. The notes were so deep and strong it felt like we were sitting inside a giant bass fiddle. Mama screamed and put both her hands over her mouth. She'd recognized her song after the first couple of notes. The guy in the record started singing Under the Boardwalk, and I had to turn around and look because it sounded like he was right in the back seat with Dad. We sat in the car for almost 2 hours as everybody got a chance to go in the house and get their favorite records. Even though we had a pretty good record player in the house, it couldn't compare with the sounds that came out from the scientifically and mathematically put in speakers that the brown bomber had. The Ultraglide cast a spell on all the weird Watsons. Byron was always saying that Mama couldn't stand to see anyone having too much fun, but to be fair to her, I have to say that she stopped us from having fun in steps instead of doing it all at once. First, she thought the music was too loud and made us turn it down some. Then, after all of us kids got to play 4 songs each, I played Yakety Yak all 4 of my times. She made us get out of the car and she and Dad played Nat King Cole and Dinah Washington and other mushball singers. Then she said to Dad, "Did you tell them yet?" Uh-oh. I leaned in the car to get a look at Mama's stomach. This sounded like the way Byron and me found out we were going to get a sister. Everybody's ears jumped up. Something big was going on. And you guys are going to find out about that something big tomorrow. I don't have the time left in this video to finish this chapter, so we're going to go ahead and stop right there. I'm going to leave you wondering again. Hope you guys enjoyed the chapter, though. Remember to complete your exit ticket and have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.